yes, I'm running a business, but they're such good instruments. It's like, if you have not tried this out, you owe it to yourself to do so.
Yeah.
Either as a player or as a parent, because this is a really good option for an instrument that you might not have to spend all the money you think you do.
Hey everybody, so before we get into this video, I wanted to show you that was from a conversation we had after we were done filming, and it just kind of proves, I think, that Rich is a really, really nice guy, and he actually really believes in this product for reasons other than his business. So I do a little bit of play testing, not a whole lot of playing. I will be playing these horns in a future video. I will also be doing one for alto trombones and bass trombones, so keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, if you do want to purchase one of these horns, make sure to use CBRaihto 10 on DF Music Inc. Okay?
Hi everybody, so many of you saw my video where I reviewed different bass trombone mouthpieces to try to find a mouthpiece that worked for me. And many of you have been asking for a version of that with trombones, and so I'm here with Rich Galime again, now in person, to talk about some of these trombones that maybe you might be interested in. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here in person.
Yeah,
Skype this time.
This is great. So let's just start right in. What is this horn that we have here?
All right, so I work mainly with one specific brand called John Packer. One unique thing they have done is they've worked with some of those boutique manufacturers from the UK, one of them being Michael Rathe from Rathe Trombones. So what we're trying out today are the John Packer Rathe trombones, or in short, I'll refer to them a lot as JP-Rath.
JP-Rath.
That's kind of how we end up talking about them, as JP-Rath trombones. And yeah, we've got a couple different options here. We've got a straight tenor, a couple F attachments. Should be a good review of what these horns are about and what makes them so good.
So why don't you just give just a first kind of general view of JP horns?
Okay.
Like what is the JP company and what do they have to offer?
Sure. So John Packer's full line for band, so brass and woodwinds, and they have everything from student level to advanced level instruments. Their advanced level instruments, like we're looking at today, really can be used in any setting. I've got a lot of professionals that use them, especially as a doubling horn, particularly on trombone if you're a tenor player and you need a bass trombone or you need an alto trombone. So they're really fantastic horns. And then the JP-Rath horns, in specific, they were completely designed by Michael Rathe. So it's not just he designed the bell or the lead pipe. They'll specifically call out the lead pipe because it's such a big part of the horn. But Michael Rathe actually designed the whole instrument and actually went a step further and made sure all the tooling was set up, and he really took time to make sure when he was going to put his name on one of these horns that it was still a really solid horn and was as good as something he felt his own horns could be within this price range of instrument. So John Packer has done a lot of that, and then they're really great with brass because the brass tradition in the UK, so a lot of their brass instruments are just definitely a cut above other things you would find maybe in the student or intermediate level. Again, I've got a lot of like professionals in my area, which is Chicago, that have purchased flugelhorns for me to use on gigs, or piccolo trumpets or trombones. So they're really great instruments at a really nice affordable rate. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to get the message out about them.
Cool. So there's different price points, and the JP has a certain price point, and these would be the more professional versions of those horns. Great. And so what is this one here?
So this is the JP-230. It's their straight tenor. This is the 500 bore. They come in two bores for the straights, 500 and 525. And this is yellow brass throughout. Really nice horn. I mean, very straightforward.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So how much does it cost, did you say?
So these horns, depending on the bore size, they're just under $1,000. And most of the people I've worked with on this horn are, high school students who are in their jazz ensemble specifically for the small bore, and they're looking for like a nice horn that's different than either their school horn or something they're renting.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a fully professional horn.
So
and that's really more for the price aspect of it.
Absolutely. So like, if like this is the second thing you do, if you're like a classical player, you're in your main ensemble and doing your concertos on your whatever horn, but you're in that jazz ensemble playing lead or in a Latin band or something, and you want something like this.
Right.
That's great. I probably would have bought something like this. I mean, I got really lucky with my horn, and I found a used one.
Used is always an option, but used isn't always there.
Yeah.
You don't always know what you're getting.
Oh, I got lucky. On everything on it.
And, it's just different ways to look at it. I mean, you're going to get a brand new horn. It's going to play great. It's got the, Michael Rath input on the horn, so it plays really nice.
It's a great horn.
And that's why, again, it's perfect for that high school player who either doesn't want to, push it and buy a fully professional horn because they're not sure what they're going to do, or it's, I've got an F attachment horn, I just need my straight tenor now.
Right.
So let me get one of these because it's under $1,000 and it's going to play great anyways. Those are your really options. I mean, and then on top of that, the other type of people I'm working with are people who are retired and either getting back into music or have retired and, maybe they were a bass trombone player, but now the ensemble they're playing with is like, hey, can you cover this part because we don't have anyone? So they're like, I need a straight tenor for this stuff. That's another really core, market for what this horn is trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a professional player, and you're going to go out there and it's going to be a career, then by all means.
Yeah, spend $3,500 on a horn.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why Michael Rath makes Michael Rath trombones.
Right.
But if you're not doing that, or you need an extra horn that plays great, but you don't want to spend that money, this is the perfect option for that. And because they do this with other horns, as we'll find out in a second, it's not just with straight tenors that this is an option. So
cool.
So with that, I mean,
let's try another one. So this is another JP-Rath, but this is a F attachment horn.
Yep.
And what's the bore size on this one?
This one is the 547 bore.
And what's the other option on this?
So on the closed wrap option, there is a 525 and a 547.
And this is the bigger one?
Yeah, this is the bigger one.
Okay. And the open wrap is a 547.
Yeah.
So both of these are the same?
Yeah, so we're kind of comparing the same horns here.
Okay, the only difference is the wrap.
Open wrap. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Is there anything else you could tell me about this?
Yeah, I mean, it's when JP does all of their sort of higher end horns like this, whether it be JP-Rath or like on the other types of instruments and trumpet, they always use their higher grade brass.
Okay.
Which is a little bit of a thicker gauge. Just on their higher end instruments, just to give them a little more body. And also it's an 80-20 brass. That's a complicated term for the makeup of the brass.
Copper and zinc.
Yeah, copper and zinc. But ultimately, the 80-20 split, it's nice and durable, but it also lends itself to a nice, beautiful tone on these horns. You can even see it's a little bit of a darker yellow brass than your standard yellow brass.
Yeah, standard yellow brass is what, 60? 65?
It's usually like
70?
60 to 70, depending on who's doing it, and like, and then when you get in that gold brass, like a true gold brass is like 90 and above copper, but gold brass is also really soft because it's all copper, so that's what happens.
Cool. So just try it then? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
not much else to say.
Yeah.
These are my excerpts.
Nice.
Most people play, get a nice, beautiful classical horn, they'll play their excerpts.
Yeah.
These are my
right.
excerpts.
These are your excerpts.
So, I mean, it's a beautiful horn. It plays melodic music very, very well. In that range.
Same idea here. It's a JP-Rath, so it's going to be the best that John Packer has to offer. It's Michael Rath designed the horn. And these ones come in just under $1,700, depending on, the bore size or open closed wrap that you want. So, again, the same exact perfect option we were talking about, like a high schooler who needs a good horn, or the retired person who's now back at it, or even a professional who, this isn't their main axe and they need a good instrument to supplement their main gig.
And the opposite could be true from the last one, which is if you're a jazz player but you want to play in an orchestra part-time or something like that, then you need a doubling horn the other way.
Yep,
so,
that's exactly what happens. We're getting inquiries from doublers from all sides of that coin.
I have a question, just a trombone question, which is, what is the difference between a closed wrap and an open wrap?
Well, an open, it's all in the tubing.
Yeah.
You know, when you're looking at how the tubing comes through the end of the lead pipe after the slide here, you know, on your normal straight tenor, you know, airflow going straight through the horn, straight up. When you get to the triggers, the idea being when you push this trigger, the airflow is changed completely. And now what's happening in the instrument, where's the air going, how is it flowing out of the instrument, back through, and an open wrap tends to have less of a difference between the feeling when you have the trigger open or engaged. Where on a closed wrap, it's a little bit of a tighter wrap, therefore it means tighter turns for your airstream, which means you feel the difference a lot more when you press that trigger. Some people like that difference because when you're hitting that trigger, you're already dropping your register.
Sure.
So when you drop your exactly, so they want that extra feeling of the resistance of a closed wrap, where other people want it to be seamless, and an open wrap traditionally has a more seamless feel to it.
And are these valves? I see the R's all around. So these valves are designed by Rathe?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Everything about this horn is designed by Rathe. So.
Very cool. Well, I play an open wrap horn, so...
Yeah, let's play the open wrap.
Honestly, this feels pretty much like the horns I've been playing. I played a Bach 42 for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And now I play a BAC San Francisco, which is basically their exact version of this horn. How much did you say this was?
They're under 1,700. I mean, they're like 1,690, 1,650, something like that.
That's crazy to me. Now, I don't play in an orchestra. I've subbed in a couple orchestras and played those horns, but for what I do, I don't have anything that I, on my horn, think I really need to spend another $4,000 to get, like, that quality that I'm looking for. Like, oh, there's that nuance that I'm not getting. I don't feel that.
Yeah, I mean, there's always some sort of nuance that, like, if you had your horns side by side, you'd probably pick up, like, oh, I can, you know, maybe your slide is weighted just a little bit different.
Sure.
Or, you know, sometimes it just comes down to the actual just, like, fit and finish of the horn. Like, your trigger might just feel better in your hand, you know, like the fit of it.
Yeah.
Which, actually, these are adjustable.
Oh, that's cool.
You can bring them in, out. You can bring this in and out.
That's interesting.
Depending on... And, again, that's more of a... It's to make sure that students have that option with your F attachment horn.
Yeah.
These horns are very straightforward in their approach. They're all meant to do the same thing in terms of offering a high quality instrument at that mid-level price range that really can help out a lot of students who don't know where to go, can't afford something, or, you know, just are struggling to find something that they feel like they can invest in but not have to worry about it. And for parents too, that's a big deal. And because this approach from John Packer is this is going to be their best instrument, it's different than what a lot of other instrument manufacturers are doing, which is we'll take our professional level and dumb it down.
Right.
This is the other way around. This is Michael Rath said, I'm going to design the very best horn that John Packer can manufacture for me. So that's another reason why these horns are coming in it from this way.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of trying to like, well, let's.
How can we make our best product cheaper?
Right.
Yeah, I never thought about it that way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with. I would play this horn. Like it was great.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, where can people buy them?
Well, I mean,
or find you for questions.
You can definitely find me at the website, dfmusicinc.com, Inc, I-N-C.
Yeah.
Our contact info's on there. Feel free to give me a call. You'll probably get me on the phone, or you can email us. I do my best to do trials with the instruments, although it's a little bit harder than what I do with the mouthpieces.
Sure.
It's a lot easier to send you guys out a bunch of mouthpieces and then have you try those out. But, we are trying to work with people on them, especially because we know an instrument is a big purchase and you need to try it out ahead of time. And we typically have them all in stock.
Yeah.
Aside from some of the more interesting finishes that are out there. But yeah, lacquer for sure, we usually have them.
I'll put all the contact info in the description so you can contact Rich. And if you do end up purchasing, make sure you use the coupon code CBRath10 to get 10% off. And that's on all JP-Rath or JP instruments, right?
Yeah, we can do it on all JP instruments.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
But specifically we're talking about the Raths, so that's why it's CBRath.
Yeah. And if you want to see us talk about, what do we have, the alto trombone and a bass trombone?
Alto and I've got the double trigger bass trombone.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing those. Just check the links in the description and you can see us talk about those as well.
All right. Well,
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks again for watching. If you do want to purchase one of these horns, make sure to use CBRath10 on DF Music Inc. And other than that, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the alto trombone and the bass trombone reviews, as well as the full arrangement using these horns so you can see how they sound in action in a few weeks. Make sure to subscribe for that. Thanks to the Patreon donors for making all these videos possible. If you want to help out as well, go to patreon.com/classicaltrombone. I have an album called Half Man, Half Machine on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play, and it sounds a little something like